It's the match of round 17. Warrington, who are fourth, take on third place Bradford, who've had their moments over the past 2 weeks. If Warrington win, it'll just about secure a top four finish. If it's another night of the Bulls, they'll be third at least, and maybe better. Disappointment for Warrington last time out at home. Wigan had a weakened team, but were still far too good. A bitter pill for John Dorahy, but he's still certainly turned Warrington round in Super League. They are fourth in the table after their best win of the season at Workington last Sunday. 3 points clear of London now. The Broncos blew their chance of overtaking Warrington last week. A shock defeat in Paris, which gave the French a Super League lifeline and made a mockery of the league standings. Welsh wizard Iestyn Harris returned in Cumbria last Sunday, and Warrington visibly improved. Such a talent, and still only 20. It's a captain's return for Paul Cullen. 2 games out suspended, back to lead from the front and add impetus to the pack. Mark Forster grabbed 2 tries at Workington and ended his 12-match drought. The Bulls of Bradford are the trailblazers in the new era, and crowds are booming. And over the past 2 weeks, they've had plenty to shout about. First, St Helens were grounded in glorious fashion. And last week, Wigan arrived as league leaders, leaving with their wings suitably clipped. Bernard Dwyer with the crucial try. And what a revitalised man John Scales is. He's Bradford's top scorer in Super League now. Great Britain international Sonny Nicol typifies the strength in depth at Odsal. He started just 1 game since Wembley, but what an impact he's had. Matt Callan's career has come alive under Brian Smith's guidance. The reformed bad boy is an international now. And James Lowe's current form must haunt Leeds, the club he left behind. Only half the player he is now. Robbie Paul has emerged from the shadow of elder brother Henry at Wigan. Paul, a match winner of true class, and has lit up Super League this dazzling summer. Well, the past 2 weeks have been pure heaven for Bradford, haven't they? They have beaten Wigan and St Helens in their last 2 matches, and now they take on the team immediately below them in the table. The Super League title is beyond us, says Brian Smith. Well, we will see. Now, I'm sure it's no coincidence that Bradford are in town today, and Warrington have made a big effort to make sure that tonight is a huge success. And they have decided to turn this into a Wilderspool beach party. And they have got sun hats, sunglasses, and they have a band as well. And they have come out suitably dressed for the big occasion. White Plains are performing, and they are from Blackpool, and they're doing a great job playing some Beach Boys hits. So it really is a tremendous atmosphere here at Warrington, and they are building up towards the kick-off time, which of course is at 6 o'clock. Now, this time next year, he is hoping we will be taking in a Super League match at the Willows, because Salford are the reigning champions of the First Division. They are the current leaders of Division 1, and a man who, during his illustrious career, had a time here at Warrington. Their coach, Andy Gregory, is our guest on the programme here tonight with Steve and myself. Andy, it's great to see you. You're obviously looking forward to being involved in all this next year, because marvellous atmosphere now at Super League.
It's tremendous. We've missed it. No disrespect to any of the clubs in Division 1, but we don't draw the same attention television-wise and in the media, newspapers and everything. You know, we need to get Salford to get in Super League. We're working out at it. The lads, full credit to them. We've buckled down. We've got a fit squad. Full credit to the board, who's, you know, most of the things which I've wanted. John Wilkinson and the board have backed me. And last year was disappointing. We won the league and we didn't go up, but the lads buckled down and we said, come on, they're the rules, let's abide by them. You know, in papers and magazines and on TV, other clubs have been having a bit of a go at the rugby league, but we've done it right, I think. We've just buckled down, and the lads have worked hard, and we're getting the results. We're not there yet. We had a good result last night up at Rochdale. The lads, we know we can play better, but we got the 2 points, which is all I want. And next week we have a tough game against Hull. The lads have had a couple of days off over the weekend, and we're in Monday and we'll prepare all week and hopefully get the 2 points against Hull
because you're very nearly there if you do that. But would you be able to get into the Super League and compete against Bradford and Warrington and Wigan and Saints and Leeds and all the other big clubs?
I think so. We've got a good squad. We're always looking to strengthen it. Like we was talking before, we've signed Andy Platt.
Is that definite?
That's definite. Andy Platt signed a 2-year deal, and we are looking. The players who have the shirts at the moment at the Willows, they've got a chance now. They've played well throughout the year. Throughout my time as a coach, I can't ask no more from them. But we are going to have to strengthen the squad. It's going to be tough in Super League. It's going to be faster, a lot faster than what we've been used to. And it's like when you first sign as a kid. You go in the A team and then you make your first team debut, and it is a lot faster. And then you make your first team debut and you go into international, and it's a big step up, and it'll be a big step up for us. But we're going along the right lines. Like I said, we do need a couple more players, but full credit to the lads who I've got at the moment. And like I said, they've got the jerseys. Are they going to be good enough? They're going to prove to me in the next 5 games to win the championship that they are. And whoever comes in, like we're talking about, Andy Platt, a world-class prop forward, but the prop forwards at the moment, Ian Blease and Cliff Eccles, are doing the job, and they're going to make Andy Platt fight for his shirt, which I want at Salford. I want everybody fighting for the place.
Well, that's great news that Andy Platt is coming back to this country. Great Britain international, former Wigan teammate of Andy Gregory's, of course, and as you've heard on this programme, Andy Platt has signed a 2-year deal and will be at Salford, hopefully in Super League next year. Great news. Steve-O, looking forward to this match tonight. A great battle in prospect, not least because there's been a little bit of shenanigans behind the scenes between Brian Smith and Alex Murphy.
Yeah, well, I think a bit of spice to anything, both on and off the field, always helps towards it. I mean, over the past 3 weeks, we've had Bradford on Sky TV, and they've produced the goods at every opportunity. Defeat to St Helens, and then, of course, Wigan, and it would be a great hat-trick if they can do it today, and I think they can. I think they'll be very, very confident. Brian Smith will make sure. He likes to make a point against quite a few people, myself included, and I can assure you that he will make that the players will want to get a win for Brian because of perhaps a few words being spoken between Smith and Murphy. Well, they're both outspoken people, so I mean, I don't really worry about it. I don't think the fans worry about it. They just think that it will lift the game a little bit extra from what we've got. We've got a carnival atmosphere out there, a lot of colourful shirts. It's been absolutely wonderful. And I think the build-up is what we're all about. Bradford have shown the way. Warrington are following suit. Let's hope that all the other clubs do likewise. And I think we'll be in for a cracking game, because I'm just waiting to see Bradley against Harris, and I think that will be one of the key factors.
Well, you might have to wait a long time, because I'm just hearing that Iestyn Harris is out of tonight's match. He's just failed a fitness test, so that's a big blow for Warrington.
Oh, tremendous blow for Warrington. He is a man that really could have taken them that little bit extra step. He has the skill that can take on any defence in the world, and that is a bitter blow to the Wires.
It is. But there is a great game in prospect. Chris Rudd comes in, I'm told, to take the place of Iestyn Harris. John Dorahy is just reorganising his side a little bit to cover for the missing Iestyn Harris, the Welsh international. So Chris Rudd gets another opportunity, and here is a man at the moment who is leading something of a double life.
In this Super League era of full-time professionalism, it is rare to find a first-team player who still holds down another career. Warrington's Chris Rudd is that exception, a full-time mechanical engineer as well as a Warrington regular. It's a double life and a demanding one.
It's very hard. It's the meal times as well. Sometimes you're eating in the middle of the night when you should be sleeping. And you don't really get a break, so you've just got to eat when you can and train when I can and fit working as well.
The demands are heightened further when you consider that Rudd's other job is broken into shifts, often working right through the night, occasionally on the day of a game.
We work 3 shifts. We do mornings, afternoons and night shift as well. Mornings is 6 till 2, afternoons is 2 till 10 and night shift is 10 till 6.
Rudd scored twice on Sunday at Workington in his side's comprehensive victory. But while his teammates went out for a celebratory drink afterwards, he was preparing for work the next morning.
The schedule was we play the game 3 o'clock. I got back home probably about 8:30, 9 o'clock. Had something to eat, straight in bed, and up for 5 this morning. Yeah.
After his shift on Monday, Rudd then travelled to Wilderspool for his own lonely fitness session. It's a regular transformation for him, from rivet manufacturer to Super League athlete. His love of the game and his determination to succeed despite the demands is always a driving force.
Well, I still managed to get a lot of the fitness sessions in. I miss some of the ball work and some of the get-togethers with the lads, but it's just one of the sacrifices you've got to make.
With the rest of the first-team squad full-time and able to train when required, Rudd often misses out on team tactics. So special provisions are made for an evening session when Rudd is available too.
They give me some stick when sometimes John organises training sessions for in the evening and the lads are full-time so they can get there all during the day. He sometimes organises one session a week or something so I can be there, and they don't like it.
Both he and Warrington will be reassessing the situation in September, but for the time being he's happy to pursue both careers and ask him which one he'd prefer to concentrate on, and you get the perfect diplomatic response.
Oh, well, I don't want to upset anybody, so I'm going to keep quiet on that one.
A few moments ago, the two skippers emerged. Paul Cullen back after suspension. Robbie Paul, the Bradford Bulls captain. And it looks like Warrington have won the toss.
A word with each of you before we get underway. Robbie, first of all, you can't let the last two performances get to your head. It's another important one today.
Yeah, it is another important one. If we want to, keep in contention for the title race, we've got to win it here today. So it's a big game for ourselves as well as the club.
It's a good atmosphere, isn't it, Paul Cullen? And also it's the beach atmosphere. Do you think it's going to work?
Well, the atmosphere in the dressing room is the most important, and we're up for this game. We've got to be to take on Bradford. I think the best side knocking around in the league at the moment, and they are the side that's going places. It's all on today.
All the best to you both.
Best of luck to both sides. Otherwise, in round 17, we have Paris against Wigan tonight at the Charlotte Stadium. They kick off at 8:30 Central European time. In real money, I think that's 7:30 over here. Paris against Wigan then. And we hear from Andy Gregory, by the way, that Sean Edwards is out of that match tonight. He's got his finger on the pulse in the Wigan area. Tomorrow, Sunday, Castleford against Sheffield at Weldon Road, kick-off 3:30. Halifax against Workington at Thrum Hall, kick-off at 3. And London against Leeds at the Valley, they kick off at 3 o'clock there as well. If you've never been to Super League, you haven't got much longer this summer to go and have a taste. And believe me, when you get an evening like this, glorious sunshine, big crowds building up, it's well worth going along to. Let's see how many of you turn out this weekend for the round of 17. Right, we have Warrington against the Bradford Bulls. It's third-place Bulls against fourth-place Warrington. They don't come much bigger than this. This is the match of the round in round 17. And Wilderspool bathed in glorious sunshine. It's hot out there, and it's going to be hot on the pitch. Coming next, we'll take a check on the teams.
Sky's comprehensive golf coverage continues as the European Tour reaches Hilversum in Holland. And with a strong international field, including a rare appearance from American John Daly, it promises to be a big-hitting tournament. The Sun Dutch Open, in association with Scottish Life, starts Thursday at 1:30 on Sky Sports.
There are two sides to a sprinter. The side that wants to crush his opponents and leave them blue and lifeless by the side of the track. And the other, darker side.
If you haven't joined BT's free friends and family scheme, you could miss out on a dream trip. As a member, you get 10% off all the calls you make to your 5 favourite numbers, and if you sign up by the 4th of October, you'll receive a voucher. Like this one, which could save you between 10 and 30% on selected British Airways flights, and you can buy up to 4 tickets. Just ring 0800 05 55 55 now and give BT your 5 numbers, and bon voyage.
American Express, how may I help you?
Let's see. Business class, I'll seat as usual.
Travel insurance?
Yes, I'm sure we can find a plan to suit you.
Our credit card would let you spread payments over time.
Right now, you have enough points for a flight to Paris.
You have enough points for a dinner for two in your area.
We made an arrangement just for our customers.
I was just calling to check everything turned out all right.
Glad we could help.
Maybe it's time you let American Express help you do more.
Persil now has a brand new stain release system to set clean, free.
Every Monday all summer, the Times is just 10p. Celebrate a summer of sport with the Times.
I've got £30,000 worth of home insurance with the AA, and I think I've got a good deal.
Believe you me, that's him. He's happy.
AA home insurance costs less than I thought.
Call direct on 0800 444 777.
Some people quit when they reach their threshold of pain. Some don't.
Warrington have not yet managed to beat any of the sides immediately above them in the Super League table. Tonight may be their night, but the Bradford Bulls have won 3 of the last 4 away games. We're live and exclusive here at Wilderspool Stadium. There's a beach party going on outside. The crowd is in shirt-sleeve order. The temperatures outside in the high 20s. Tremendous to see. Great atmosphere inside the stadium. Great atmosphere. There's even a fellow there with a surfboard, look. A great atmosphere, I'm sure, inside the 2 dressing rooms as well. Let's take a look at the way the 2 sides line up. Warrington, first of all, home side. Lee Penny at full-back, 3/4. Mark Forster, Chris Rudd, Jonathan Roper, Richard Henari. No Iestyn Harris, so Coe Love moves to stand-off half. Willie Swan is the scrum half. The forwards, Mark Hilton, Chris Watson, Gary Chambers. That's the first-choice front row. Paul Hume, Paul Cullen returns, the captain, after a 2-match suspension, and Paul Sculthorpe, the loose forward. And on the bench for Warrington, it's Salesi Finau, Paul Barrow, Matiaki Maffey and Mark Jones. Coach John Dorahy, of course. Now the Bradford Bulls, they've had a wonderful fortnight. Can they continue it here? Stuart Spruce is the full-back, and there's quite a bit of size in this 3/4 line of Tamani, Calland, Lachlan and Scales. Bradley and Robbie Paul, the scrum half and captain. Brian McDermott and James Lowes, Carl Furbank, that's the front row, Jeremy Donegar, Bernard Dwyer, Steve McNamara loose forward, unchanged from last week's victory over Wigan, and same again on the substitutes bench as well. Glenn Tomlinson, Sonny Nicol, Gary Christie with Paul Medley, and the coach, of course, is Brian Smith. That's the way the 2 sides line up then. Big miss for Warrington. Iestyn Harris not playing. He's on the touchline now, though, and he's talking to our man out there, Alistair Mann.
Well, it's gloriously hot and it's perfect weather for spectating, and unfortunately someone who is going to be spectating is alongside me, Iestyn Harris. Iestyn, what's the problem?
I've strained a ligament in my knee. It's nothing serious, but I shouldn't have played last week, and I played last week and I've done it again, so it's not right for this week.
You had a late fitness test. What was the thing that was restricting you most about it?
I can go full out forwards, but I can't move to the side off my left foot, so I'm struggling there. Hopefully I'll be right for next week.
How did you pick it up?
I did it against Wigan about 2 weeks ago. Missed the Halifax game and played at Workington and did it again at Workington. It's not right.
Well, it's a great atmosphere here, and obviously lots of people are dressed for the part and enjoying the atmosphere. Are you one of those watchers who hates to be on the sideline, or will you be able to enjoy it?
No, I don't like being on the sideline. If I can help it, I'll head to be on the pitch, and I won't enjoy it today. But hopefully our lads can go out and get the result we want, and I'll be cheering for as much as the next person.
Who do you think will be doing the kicking duties in your absence?
I should imagine either Chris Rudd or Jonathan Roper will be doing the kicking, because Jonathan was practicing with me last week and he went okay.
How do you envisage this game going? I can imagine you'll be predicting it tight.
It is going to be tight, very, very tight, but I think Warrington can do it on their own turf, and I think we will do it.
Well, you look so you're dressed for the part. Are you going to be enjoying it in the beach shirt?
Well, I think I've got a bit of paint in later, Steve. I don't know whether this shirt reminds you of anything, but...
Thanks, Justin.
It's a dreadful shirt, isn't it? I guess who it belongs to.
It's not a dreadful shirt. I just like to enter into the atmosphere of the day.
It's a shocker. Let's take a look at the battles now, Steve-O, because you picked out some of the important areas where this game might be won. Coe-Love against Callan, first of all.
Yeah, two contrasting players, but very talented players in their own right. If you look at the stats, you'll see that Coe-Love average tackles per game 18, Matt Callan 10. Coe-Love really does get involved in the tackling game. Missed tackles, well, a bit of a problem with Coe-Love at times. Metres gained, not much in it between those two. The clean breaks, though, and the offloads, it just indicates that both players can be very classy in attack. But I think it's a matter of whether Callan can hang on to the skills of this guy. He really does have speed off the mark, well-balanced runner, and knows how to slow the game down. Good support play, gets on the inside, and he reads the game exceptionally well. When he gets the ball out wide, this is him and comes back on the inside. Super stuff when they get. He really knows how to score a try. Look at the balance there. Really gets involved at any given opportunity. But this guy, once the bad guy of rugby league, Matt Callan, got more publicity with a little bit of hot-headed stuff, but this time he really is in great form. His crash tackling ability, that's the one thing that he'll have to be up on there. He loves to come in and look for the work on the inside. He gets into that position and moves very, very quickly. Likes to come in off the wing. He's not frightened of looking for work. And that is going to be a real tough battle. And talking of tough battles, they won't be any tougher than Paul Cullen against Bernard Dwyer. Paul Cullen, of course, just back from suspension, so we might not see the fiery Paul Cullen as much in the first 5 or 10 minutes. But believe you me, Cullen will lead by example. And look at that, 25 tackles, Bernard Dwyer, exactly the same. Missed tackles, though, it is a problem with Paul at times, especially when he finds himself out wide. Bernard Dwyer had a great game last week. Look at that, metres gained 101, clean breaks 2 as against 1, offloads 5 and 4. So both can be very creative, but look for the fireworks. Maybe not in the first 10 or 15 minutes, especially from Paul Cullen. He'll keep his arms down, I think, in the first stanza. But believe you me, as the game wears on, he will make an impact.
It has all the prospects of being quite a match, this, and over the years Warrington have tended to struggle against Bradford Bulls, although I'm sure, Andy, when you were a player here, looking at the record, I think you've got 11 wins each at Wilderspool, Warrington and the Bulls over the years. So when you were here, there were always fierce battles and you did all right.
Yeah, it's always tough. You know, both sides here, like you mentioned before about Paul Cullen. I think it's going to be interesting, the two back rowers of Warrington. I know Murph will be in there now, he'll want them to play it tough. Paul Hume and Paul Cullen, two tough lads, but they're up against a fair pack in Bradford. I'm really looking forward to this. I think it is a massive blow to Warrington, Yestin Harris being out. But let's have a look at Coe-Love. As Steve-O mentioned, he's tremendous on attack, he's good on defence, and looking at the size of the Bradford forwards and then looking at the backs, they've got a hell of a lot of strong lads in their side. I'm just about going to go. If Avis was playing, I fancied Warrington at home because they're always hard to beat. But Avis missing, Bradford on song, I'm just going to go with Bradford.
So Andy Gregory's vote goes for the Bradford Bulls. They are certainly the team in form, aren't they? And an unchanged side, of course, that breeds confidence as well. Well, great game in prospect, great night, lovely conditions. It's absolutely glorious out there and lots of smiling faces. They've joined forces with the local organisation to bring some youngsters in here free of charge tonight, and it looks like it's worked again. Well done, Warrington. Let's see how you do against the Bulls next.
Hygiena kitchen, complete with all these appliances and a fridge and freezer, is under £735, plus hundreds more offers at MFI and MFI Homeworks now.
What's the worst kept promise in the world, eh?
I do take thee.
No, not that one. That was just cynical. It's this one.
Hi, George. Look, I can't stop. I'll give you a call.
Okay, great. We say it all the time.
Hi, how are you? Can't stop. I'll give you a call.
We even put it on our Christmas cards. I'll call you in the new year. Oh, yeah. That's it. Daft, isn't it? We let a friendship drift just for the want of a phone call. So if you've said recently you'll call someone, well, do it. Right now. And after all, you're not the type of person to break a promise, are you?
George, it's Tom. Well, I said I would, didn't I?
It's good to talk.
JVC did the impossible.
They've done the impossible.
He was determined to show the entire world.
Wait till they get a load of this.
And she would have a night she'd never forget.
We're completely surrounded.
JVC.
Impossible.
Presents a world first in television.
Incredible.
3D Phonic, the home cinema sound system with Dolby Pro Logic.
Impossible.
No external speakers and no cables.
Amazing.
3D Phonic from JVC.
He's discriminated against because of his age. They're discriminated against because they're on a budget. For an open-minded view of car insurance, call Swinton on 0800 600 700 now.
If you really want all these people in your home, switch on to Carlton Select, only on cable.
But this is the best of feasts, bar none.
You're dead right, it is bar none. No feast bar, none at all. Here's one, luscious ice cream, chocolatey biscuity bits, and even more toffee gooiness. And now it's 10% bigger.
We don't have to take that sort of stick, young man.
You're right, Wall's Feast Bar, the feast bar none, and no stick.
When it comes to improving the healthy look of your hair, leading men's magazine Maxim recommend Pantene Pro V.
Starting tomorrow, get a free Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame music and story tape from Woolworths, only in tomorrow's News of the World.
The gossip, the fix, the slip, the scam, the stars, the beauty, the news of the world.
Win 2 World Championships. Then, on a new bike with a new team, win a third. Only a man like Carl Fogarty would accept such a mission. Only Fogarty would make it possible. Superbikes live from the USA. Race 1 starts at 7:30 p.m. Sunday on Sky Sports.
Warrington lost 36-14 at Odsal in May. It was one of their heaviest defeats of the Super League. The Bradford Bulls know they can virtually guarantee top 3 if they win tonight, maybe even second, or champions, I wonder. We're live and exclusive at Wilderspool, and it's sunny and sultry at Wilderspool as the match officials lead the two teams out onto the field. Robbie Paul, the Bradford Bulls captain, they emerge the form team of Super League just now. Tremendous victories for them over St Helens and Wigan in their last 2 home games. And Matt Calland, England international, certainly one of the most improved players in Super League. Out come Warrington. Paul Cullen will be delighted to be back in the thick of the Super League action. And a big night for Warrington, as well as a big night for the Bradford Bulls, because there's a huge crowd inside Wilderspool for this. And there's a lot of responsibility resting on the shoulders of Chris Rudd. Rudd getting the nod late on to come in for the injured Iestyn Harris, although Rudd will play in the centres and Toa Koe-Love will move to the standoff half position. This is the Warrington side. They have Lee Penny at fullback, Mark Forster, Chris Rudd, Jonathan Roper and Richard Henare, their three-quarter line. Toa Koe-Love and Willie Swan. Up front, it's Mark Hilton, Chris Watson, Gary Chambers, Paul Hume, Paul Cullen, the captain, and Paul Sculthorpe. And on the bench, waiting the nod from coach John Dorahy, Salesi Finau, Paul Barrow, Matty Akimafi, and Mark Jones. Bradford Bulls, Stuart Spruce at fullback, Joe Tamani, Matt Calland, Paul Loughlin, Jonathan Scales, Graham Bradley, Robbie Paul. Up front, it's Brian McDermott, James Lowes, Carl Fairbank, Jeremy Doniger, Bernard Dwyer and Steve McNamara. This Bradford Bull side unchanged, right the way down to the substitutes bench. Glenn Tomlinson, Sonny Nicol, Gary Christie and Paul Medley. Coach is Brian Smith, coming to the end of his first season in charge at Bradford, his first and last season in charge at Bradford. What a shame he's going home. Stuart Cummings is the referee for tonight, the man in the middle and one of the top officials in Super League. He was with us in Paris this time last week. John Dorahy, the Warrington coach, was a worried man when he arrived here, worried about Iestyn Harris, and his fears that he expressed to me yesterday that Harris wouldn't make it have proved founded. Harris out of the side, and that will give them a problem not only in general play but certainly in the goal-kicking department, and that is something that Iestyn Harris himself was talking about before this game got underway. Robbie Paul, the outstanding talent in the Bradford Bulls lineup. A try against Warrington in May, and he got the better of Henry last Friday, no doubt about that. Ever present in Super League. This tonight is his 52nd consecutive appearance. Well, an absolutely beautiful summer's evening, and isn't it great to see the terraces and the stands filled with people for Warrington against Bradford Bulls in the Stones Super League. Summer has arrived this week, and by the sound of things, one or two supporters have arrived here at the ground as well. Brian Smith, the Bradford coach, watches as Steve McNamara gets us underway. Sculthorpe passes the ball inside to Paul Hume. Crunch tackle on Hume from Bernard Dwyer, and that really sets the tone for this match.
That will lift the Bulls. It was a tremendous hit. Shoulder in, left, bang. Dwyer in tremendous form.
First half minute of the match. Gary Chambers takes the ball up for Warrington, the prop forward. This now is Paul Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe getting to the halfway line just about on the last tackle. Willie Swan will kick downfield. An angle kick aiming towards the corner. Good kick too. Although Scales allowing the ball to run its way dead in goal.
Rather surprising kick early in the game. You can see the long shadows from the sun. One would have expected Warrington to utilize that. Get the ball high, but Swan there and offside, too eager. Warrington really quick off the mark. Hume was leading the charge.
And Bradford quick on the march too. Joe Tamani taking a very quick penalty.
There you see it, penalty to choose from, referee Stuart Cummings.
But Tamani loses the ball in the ferocity of the tackle. The referee is going to put the scrum down and give head and feed to Warrington.
Good run, but inexperience there. When he got crunched, it was Sculthorpe that put the weight through, and he just lost it. It wasn't stolen.
Good decision by referee Stuart Cummings. Chris Rudd in dummy half. Turns completely round. Met by the figure of Lowes and Loughlin. Watson to Chambers. This is Willie Swan again. Offside against Bradford now. Referee Stuart Cummings very quick. Early moments here at Wilderspool.
Good refereeing as well. He knows that we want open rugby league football, and that's the second occasion that he's blown up for offside. The intentions are clear. The reason why he played on, he wanted the advantage, non-forthcoming. He's got the message through to both sides now. Let's hope they listen and keep back the full 10.
Chris Watson will restart. He finds Willie Swan, and there's Mark Hilton with the first rush. But it was good tackling from Jeremy Donegal. Watson to Swan, and there's Sculthorpe, and through the gap almost went Rudd. Good tackling by Scales, ball and all.
Tremendous. He just grabbed hold of Rudd as though it was a rag doll. It was a nice move, though, by Warrington. They're working the blind side well.
Chris Watson picked up the loose ball after the pass inside from Chambers as he fell. The tackle came in on him by Bradley. Now Coe Love, good sidestepping run, pops the pass out, but it's forward. Warrington think they've scored, courtesy of John Roper, but the forward pass is ruled by the ref.
Nice step, though. The skill of Coe Love there, but you can see it was clearly forward by about a metre. But the fact that he took on two and enabled himself to get the ball away, that really spells trouble for Bradford in the defensive area. Nice step from Love. He's got plenty of skills to do that.
Bernard Dwyer picks up the ball from the back of the scrum. Well watched by the Warrington defence. Robbie Paul to McNamara. And out wide it goes to Stuart Spruce. He loses it. Warrington have got it back.
Well, was it the fingertips in there? Pretty hard to see, but the touch judge was pretty close. Stuart Cummins looked at the flag waiver and said, was it okay? He nodded. Play on.
Now Richard Henare. 3 tries in his last 2 matches for the Warrington number 15. Chambers. Coe Love, and he had to jump over the grounded Donegal. Keeps the movement going. Cullen. Penny. Penny still. Brought to ground by Robbie Paul. Watson, the dummy half. Willie Swan turns the ball back inside to Watson again. Nowhere really for Watson to go.
They're opening the defence. It's only scrambling defence. It's getting Bradford out of trouble. Warrington switching it backwards and forwards.
This is Sculthorpe. Pops the ball out. Henare gets to it. Dinks one over the top. Caught in goal by Stuart Spruce. It'll be a tap on the 20-metre mark.
Too experienced a Bradford full-back for that. Stuart Spruce anticipated. Quick tap and is into the involvement again. But that's great defence. Watson leading the way.
And Paul Hume coming in to charge Spruce down. They were teammates at Widnes not long ago, Hume and Spruce.
Not standing square at the play of the ball. You must stand behind each other. The two that are in front, the markers as they're called, you must stand directly behind each other. And you could see there that Hume had set off far too early.
Paul Hume, first try for Warrington against Halifax 2 weeks ago. Twice a champion with Widnes. There he is again, number 31, always working hard. No wonder Warrington moved quickly to bring him here when both Paul and David Hume became available at Widnes. David Hume we will see on Sky Sports tomorrow for Leeds in London. This is John Scales, another former Leeds man now. Great run. Hauled down by the shirt tails by Gary Chambers. Lowe's through a gap. It was Hilton who held on to him.
It's a good job as well. It was a good run from the hooker. He'll control things at dummy half. They've got to watch him.
Matt Callan takes the tackle from Cullen and also John Roper. Callan struggling to get to his feet. Tamani was the dummy half. Robbie Paul. Angled kick, high kick. Forster's underneath this. Lachlan there as well. Forster took it cleanly and Lachlan clobbered him.
Good take, good tackle. In tremendous rugby league football, if you like your game tough, well, they've certainly produced it so far. All legal, of course. All big hits with the shoulder, nothing above the shoulders so far.
Coe Love and Sculthorpe. Spins in the tackle, but James Lowe's held on to him. Watson is the dummy half.
Crowd don't like the fact that Bradford are not getting back the full 10.
Coe Love again, trying to get away from Donegal, couldn't. Willie Swan has to put the kick in. That will bounce and trickle again towards the dead-in goal line. Very dry and bound to be a problem for the kickers to read the way this turf is going to take the kicks.
Well, once again, obviously Willie Swan wanting to get the distance, but it's still surprising me that they are not using the high ball into the right corner. Look at those long shadows. It's got to be a problem for the Bradford side.
Bradford, 4 straight wins, the best sequence in Super League. That was a marginal tackle by Paul Hume.
Is that what they call it now?
Bradley does well, releases the pass, and Robbie Paul takes it up. This is Doniger. Jeremy Doniger, sent off sufficient was the decision by the disciplinary committee after his long walk to the dressing room, first half of the game against Wigan last Friday. Dwyer did well to release that pass, but Lowe's couldn't make any progress. Stern defence from Warrington. Out wide it goes now to Calland. He dabs it forward. Henari's quick. Henari gets it, and the tackle wasn't completed. Great play by the Warrington winger. This is Lee Penny.
He got back well, bounced onto the ball, went underneath Calland. Was going a little bit too high, slid away, not completed. Good football. It's got to be a penalty.
And it is.
Henari has a little look and a few words to say to Bradley. He was obviously trying to slow things down. Didn't get away with it.
Graham Bradley, 2 tries against St Helens 2 weeks ago. A major role here tonight, we thought, against Yestin Harris. And Dwyer's got a bit of a cut on the ear, by the looks of things. He caught a little bit of treatment.
He caught a stray boot from one of his own players involved in the tackle, and I think the referee is going to call Dwyer now for the blood bin.
Having a good look. It's not on his ear, it's on top of his head there. And the referee puts Dwyer in the blood bin. He wants that attended to before he makes any more progress in this match, Bernard Dwyer.
Yeah, definitely. I'm sure he caught the stray stud.
And a former St Helens man replaces a former St Helens man. Sonny Nichols on now, and there he is. First tackle straight into the action.
They got wonderful depth, haven't they, Bradford? Tomlinson, Nichol, Christie and Medley on the subs bench. It shows how much depth they do have in the Bull camp.
Roper picks himself up. This is Willie Swan. Good ball on the inside to Sculthorpe. It was a great call.
It was forward, though. Sculthorpe overran it in mine. Here you see it was a good movement, and that was definitely forward.
That ball bounced off the arms of Hilton. That wasn't the best pass from Chambers. Coe Love picks up the pieces again.
Good tactics, though, by Warrington. They're keeping this ball alive. They're spinning in the tackle.
And there they've done it again. Watson gets it to Cullen, and it was a desperate tackle that was needed from Calland, and it was. Penny now. The line is broken. Penny going for glory. But now the defensive line is solid again, and that's good defence from Bradford.
Tremendous work by the full-back, Stuart Spruce. But you've got to give Warrington credit for the tactics. Spinning in the tackle, turning the angle of play. Oh, it's away!
Robbie Paul saw a gap and through he goes. They're all chasing in. Penny's missed in, and his pass bounces on the ground to nobody. John Scales retains possession, and the referee says they can play on. He's ruled it wasn't forward, despite the bounce.
Good work by McNamara there. You could see that Scales' feet was elevated.
Offside against Warrington.
McNamara raced in. Now here's Scales. He catches one and keeps his feet up. McNamara runs in and says, keep them here. Before he moves, get your legs back, son. Oh, just in time.
Then Warrington were caught offside. Bradford have a penalty. And so McNamara is going to have a shot at goal. And I think we'll see plenty of water taken on board tonight by the players of both sides. It's a boiling hot night. I'm sure the preparation from Brian Smith and John Dorahy involved a lot of getting water on board before the match kicked off. And certainly as the game progresses, we'll see the water carriers coming on more and more, and rightly so. So, McNamara now with the penalty attempt. 30 metres out, just about bang in front. McNamara misses. Stays at 0-0.
Well, he seemed to stab at that. Wasn't much great follow-through with the action. Shakes his head in disbelief, but he really punched that.
Maybe slightly into a lovely cooling breeze, McNamara, maybe, and he wanted to maybe keep it underneath that.
Well, there again, you see from the dropout from the quarter line, they're keeping it low again. Why on earth they're doing that? You could see that McNamara was looking and shielding his eyes. The sun is a problem, and yet Warrington have yet to utilise it.
Sonny Nicol on the run. Nicol, who has only started one match since Wembley, but what an acquisition to have on your substitutes bench to make an impact. And he has done that a few times this season. Lowe's to Paul and McNamara. Paul takes over again. Just one little glimpse of his pace so far, Robbie Paul. Lachlan. Doniger. Last tackle for Bradford. Lowe's. McNamara. Dabs it through. Finds touch.
Good thinking by the loose forward. McNamara working the blind side. Didn't anticipate that he would work the short side there, but playing the option game. 100 points for the Bulls so far. I'm sure there's many more to come.
Yes, there's no doubt about that. McNamara, the Hull captain last season, 100 goals for Hull in Division 1. He's adapted well to the new pace of Super League. The number 26 for Bradford. There he is. Once again, in on the tackling.
And you talk about that tackling, it is tough out there. They really are putting their bodies on the line.
Watson to Cullen. Now Penny. Last tackle, good defence from Bradford this. 31 metres made by Warrington, that's all. Will Sculthorpe hoist the high kick now? Oh, and he's brought the first high kick, and he's produced the first mistake from Scales.
Well, it's taken them nearly 14 minutes to work it out, and that really does surprise me, because it was always going to be a problem. It's a strong sun. Scales obviously had a problem with it. See the long shadows behind him. They've come up trumps, Warrington.
Try in each of his last 4 for John Scales. 2 against Wigan. He's the top scorer now for Bradford Bulls, John Scales. Revitalised his career, the move to Odsal. Chambers has to take the tackle. Coe Love. Willie Swan. The runner was Paul Hume. Well watched by the Bradford defence again.
Well spotted by the second rower, Jeremy Donoghue.
Swan just dabs the ball through. Forster's collected it, or he thought he had. And Stuart Spruce did enough to put the Warrington winger off, I think.
Now, did Spruce get a fingertip to this? He did. It was try time. Last season, that would have been a penalty, but not this season. It's play on. What a try saver from the full-back Spruce. Great effort.
And he's been hurt in affecting that try-saving tackle. But this now is James Lowe's. James Lowe's gets away from Coe Love and from Penny, and Penny comes back for a second snap. Tremendous run from Lowe's. Robbie Paul. Bradford have moved from defence smoothly onto attack. Paul again. Doniger. He's got Lachlan out wide. Takes the responsibility on himself, the big Australian. The tackle comes in from Rudd to bring him down. Stuart Spruce is still out and receiving treatment in back play as this move goes on up the other end and now comes to an end. Doniger tried to release the pass, keep the movement going.
Bit of a mistake there from Donoghue. They tried to work the blind side far too often. But a tremendous run, tremendous play by Bradford. They're getting into the swing of things. Lowe's, and then of course Robbie Paul, who's starting to buzz. There's a fullback, Stuart Spruce. He doesn't look well. He has not moved for the last minute.
So Spruce is receiving treatment and is now on his feet and limping away as his colleagues up the other end defend this next Warrington attack, but then concede the penalty. Lachlan just messing round at the play of the ball, hands in as the Warrington man tried to get back to his feet.
Lachlan claiming that he was being held down by Hilton, but you can see there was nothing that Hilton was doing there. The experienced referee Stuart Cummings not going to be kidded by that.
Stuart Spruce gingerly takes his place at full-back. Looks like he might be okay. Willie Swan, meanwhile. Good tackling by Robbie Paul. Tackle was effected. Watson to Sculthorpe, juggling with it. Finds Nicol and then Watson. And Watson is dumped to the ground by Robbie Paul and Brian McDermott. Coe Love. Good tackling again from this Bradford side.
It had to be as well. Warrington turning this ball back on the inside at any given time. It's try time, surely.
Henare gets over from Sculthorpe's pass. The gap opened up. Sculthorpe just tipped the ball back inside. And Richard Henare, 3 tries in his last 2. That's 4 tries in his last 3 now.
Well, they've been working it, haven't they, all the time, bringing the ball back on the inside. It was a beautiful step by Sculthorpe. Sheer quality. And what a great finish from the winger who'd come in looking for work. It's not just a coincidence that Henare is just pounding around in the background. Beautiful stuff. Great stuff there. Nothing they could do about it. Spruce would be in a lot of pain. Problems with the ribs. Look at the skill here. In and out. Great support by the winger. And Spruce put his body on the line, but it was too painful to stop him.
Richard Henare then gets the try. 10 tries in 7 for Carlisle last season, and a try on his Warrington debut earlier this season against Workington rather, in April. No problems for stand-in kicker Chris Rudd. Warrington leads 6-0. Rudd deadly from bang in front of the posts.
It's not a fluke. That's the man, Henare. Watch how he'll skirt. Waits for the inside pass. Is still around. Gimme. And take it. Brilliant play by Warrington.
Brian Smith, the Bradford Bulls coach, with the natty sunglasses. Think you'd look good in them, Steve-O, the height of fashion?
I think I'd take the wig first.
Kick-off from Warrington.
It
just
bounced.
Dropped in the field of play. They took the gamble. Bradford.
Well, I didn't call at all. Bad mistake there. Just let it go.
Wonder if it's that sun, Steve-O, that you have been telling us about all evening so far. Wonder if that just caused a problem.
Well, it is a problem because obviously Lachlan, who was standing right the way back, should have shouted for them to take it, but he probably couldn't see it.
Spruce has gone off and has been replaced by Gary Christie.
Ooh, that was try time if Swan could get it. That's got to be a penalty. It's called. The tackle has been complete. Well, they're losing the plot now at Bradford, getting very frustrated. Once it was called that it was taken, and Scales obviously didn't hear the referee, Stuart Cummings. That's silly play, though. And another mistake from Bradford.
Watson, dummy half. Chambers. Watson still in support. Swan. Coe Love. This Bradford defence now having to work overtime.
Good tackle from Nicol. It had to be as well. But watch for the inside pass again.
This is Chambers. You might have noticed that Welshman Mark Jones has come on. And Mark Hilton has gone off. There is Mark Jones. Big prop forward. Got a try last Sunday up at Workington, a rare try for him. The kick from Sculthorpe straight into the arms of Joe Tamani.
Took it well. Bang, right into the chest. He was bent down for it. Good position by Tamani. Well, an opportunity gone there. Wasn't the best kick. Again, we see them kicking away from the sun in their eyes. It's got to be a penalty.
Stuart Cummings just had a little look at the touch judge on the far side for confirmation, blew the whistle.
Well, Sculthorpe pushed him away when Tamani was trying to get up and play the football.
Mind, it was a good dive.
All helps, isn't it? Well, it's getting a little bit scrappy in and around the play the ball area. I think it's time perhaps for the Medi whistleblower Stuart Cummings to get on with that.
7 penalties, first 21.5 minutes. Higher than normal. Bradley, Callan. Good defence. Roper very quickly in there to effect that tackle. Looping pass into the arms of Fairbank.
Bradford not getting their support play as well as we've seen in the past couple of weeks. They normally twist in the tackle, and there's usually 2 or 3 men in support. Not as yet.
This is Bradley. Takes 3 to bring him down. Robbie Paul is calling for the ball this way, but now he gets it and finds McNamara. Long looping pass. Scales. He knew what to expect. And again, they keep the ball alive, and McNamara hoists the kick diagonally. Up. Underneath it was John Roper.
A little bit of a juggling act, but he took it well in the end.
Reversal of that blood bin. Bernard Dwyer has come back, and he's just made that tackle. Well, 23 minutes of this match gone. Warrington just ahead. And on the charge again here with Rudd. Rudd has got Forster with him. Rudd won't need him. Rudd scores a great try. Chris Rudd, 2 last week against Workington. Given the nod because Yestin Harris was out injured here tonight. And rewards John Dorahy with a great try down that wing.
They work the short side again. Beautiful play here by Hume, and then out wide. And Rudd really went into it. But the fend off there, it wasn't the best attempt. Christie was nowhere to him. He went far too high. Beautiful run, though, from Hume. Lachlan went far too high. They anticipated the winger to come back on the inside, and when he did, but there's no way in the world that Christie could get anywhere near him. He went far too high, fended him off. It's a fine effort. Great work from Hume. You see how Christie lines him up, but he should have gone low. And he goes high. Get away. Great fence. He'll rue the day, will Christie. This guy won't, though. Warrington are on fire.
Tremendous try from Chris Rudd. He scored a try and 5 goals in the last win for Warrington at Odsal in 1993. He's got 3 tries now inside a week. And Chris Rudd filling the boots of Yestin Harris in the goal-kicking department. John Dorahy, the Warrington coach, will be well pleased with the start his team have made, but he won't be too impressed with that goal-kick attempt. It went horizontally across the field. They will miss Yestin Harris in terms of goal-kicking, Steve-O. There's no doubt about that.
Well, it's certainly filled him well, hasn't he? Chris Rudd, it was a great run, but Hume, they went far too high at the initial start of it, and then they went high when it was desperation time. But let's not take anything away from Rudd. He finished it off well, fended Christie away.
And Bradford 10-0 down, as they were last week against Wigan. 10-0 down against Warrington today, and Paul Hume, whose initial break created that try for Chris Rudd.
Well, it's been rather surprising, and that's interference at the play of the ball again. Well, it's getting a little bit scrappy over this department. There was plenty to go at. Chris Watson, the hooker, was the culprit. How long will the referee's patience last?
Changed by Bradford's coach Brian Smith. Paul Medley's come on. 25 minutes of this match gone, 10-0. Let's hear what Andy Gregory thinks about it all, who is our special guest on the programme this evening. He's on the touchline with Alistair.
Andy, it's nip and tuck, but just sort of late, Warrington seems to have got the upper hand now.
Yes, they have. Robbie Paul seems to have gone a little bit quiet. And Warrington, I mentioned before the game about Paul Cullen and Sculthorpe and Paul Newman. They certainly got stuck in. Warrington have got the 2 tries, got the points on the board. I'm sure Alex Murphy will be a lot more happy than Brian Smith at the moment.
It's amazing how that try really changed Bradford's shape a bit as well. They looked a bit rattled.
They was a bit rattled. And sat down here, I know Matthew Elliott was getting words from Brian Smith through his ears. And I'll tell you what, it's not an happy bench at the moment, the Bradford one.
Fatally, Warrington allow the ball to bounce. John Scales knocked on though. It's no try. The ball bounced. Scales looked like he all had to pick it up and fall over the line to score.
Well, what on earth was he doing, and what on earth was the defence doing also? He came off his legs. Now, did he get fingertips to it? I'm surprised that Cummings hasn't gone for the screen here. No, he definitely got fingers to start with, so obviously Stuart Cummings did see it. He was in a good position to start with. Ooh, I'm not so sure now. It's hard to say. Well, we have the big screen, Eddie. Cummings was confident that that was a knock-on. You can't take it away from him.
Well, he will only go to the big screen if he isn't convinced 100% in his own mind. And he obviously was convinced, but the pictures make it look less convincing.
Well, it looked messy. That's obviously what convinced him in the end. But a let-off there because the Warrington defence just went to sleep. That's play on.
Coelov with the chip over the top. Henari just couldn't take the pass in. Originally, I think Coelov was looking maybe for obstruction here as he chased that little kick through ahead.
Pretty hard to say whether Lowe's just took a step across, but either way, referee played the advantage. This is the missed opportunity. Came off his legs. Maybe there was a fingertips there, but it's hard to see. Yep. So that could have been a try, perhaps.
Doniger came in behind and got downward pressure on the ball, but Stuart Cummings believed that the ball came off Scales' fingers. Robbie Paul! That's a great tackle back. It was a super tackle back by Coelov. Bradley, McNamara bounces off one challenge. Warrington are all offside though. The referee was allowing advantage.
They've got to run with the football. Don't take the 2. I wouldn't. Well, they're deliberating. It looks as though they're going to accept the 2 points. This is the incident where it looked as though the Bradford man was offside. It came off the Warrington player, Sculthorpe. Well, I'm not so sure that this would be my option. Bradford desperate perhaps to get the scoreboard ticking away. They've had their opportunities. They've made quite a few breaks. Robbie Paul's had 2 clean breaks to mine, and they have yet to turn them into points.
Brian Smith watching as he hopes Steve McNamara will get the Bradford Bulls rolling in terms of the score. 29 minutes exactly gone. And McNamara finds the mark this time. That's 1 out of 2 for McNamara and 2 points for Bradford. Warrington 10-2 ahead. Bradford up against it. They've won 10 of their last 11 since getting to Wembley for the first time for 23 years. The only one they lost recently was against Castleford. The one blip, but 2 magnificent victories against first St Helens and then Wigan really have spiced up the Bradford Bulls' first season. Paul Hume, what a terrific run, what a brave run too. Cullen.
Certainly added a lot of spice to this Warrington outfitters, Paul Hume. It's amazing how the defence seem to always go high on him, and there's nothing better than to just duck underneath the tackle.
This now is Lee Penny. Medley and Lowe's there to bring the Warrington full back down. Sculthorpe. Offside against Bradford. Referee is allowing each side advantage before blowing the whistle.
But he's got to do something about this. This is about the 6th or 7th time that both sides been caught offside.
Well, he's called Robbie Paul to him.
It's got to be the final warning.
He's just said to Robbie Paul, come on, it's getting beyond the joke.
Well, it is. But is that the official warning?
Sounds like it to me. Half an hour gone. Warrington ahead by 10 points to 2. In possession with Mark Jones, their Welsh international prop forward. Huge figure of a man and very difficult to pull down. Whoops, but he just lashed out then with the boot at Brian McDermott. McDermott didn't like it. This is Willie Swan, meanwhile.
The combination of Willie Swan and Toa Koe-Love is working superbly.
Here's Koe-Love now. Ducked underneath the swinging arm from Dwyer. Chris Watson, the dummy half. Swan again. Swan almost through, and Doniger just tracked him, pulled him down. Sculthorpe now the dummy half. Watson, an angled kick. It went between the woodwork, but it was not a drop goal attempt.
No, it definitely was not. It was an awful kick. And again, we see them failing to utilize this sun that is streaming into the bull's eyes.
Well, I'm sure that Brian Smith will have noted the long shadows on the Wilderspool surface, and I bet that will be part of his half-time team talk.
It was a good move, though, to bring Paul Medley on. He's shown over the last couple of weeks that when he comes on, he seems to lift the side. Can he do it now?
Doniger out wide to Scales. Scales grounded on halfway. Sculthorpe and Rudd. And offside against Warrington now. They were too quick. Robbie Paul was thinking of taking a quick tap penalty. And I think the Warrington captain now is going to be told. Yes, he's telling Paul Cullen the same as he's told Robbie Paul. He says, the next person who stands in front of me, I'm going to do something about it. So he obviously thinks it's persistent and professional offside. So the penalty to Bradford Bulls. Stuart Cummins, man whose patience is now on a very short fuse. And referees also need to take a bit of liquid on board on a night like this. So McNamara kicked the penalty a few minutes ago. And if this one sails over, this will give him 50 goals in Super League. And 50 it is, I think, for McNamara. 50 goals this season for him. 4 points for Bradford. The gap now 6. That's a try and a goal. And that's what Bradford are looking into at the moment. That is the view from behind the Bradford sticks. The sun streaming down here from a cloudless sky in Warrington. And as you've been calling, Steve-O, throughout the course of this match, surely they will use that sun to their advantage for the last 5 minutes of this half.
Well, you'd think so, wouldn't you? They've only utilised it once, and that was when Jonathan Scales made a real meal of it. He couldn't see what was coming down to him. It's just beyond me that a man of this ability, John Dorahy, who was a great kicker in his playing days himself, playing in Australia, he knows all about utilising the sun. It's surprising me.
Well, maybe he's got the message out. I'm sure it's not lost on him, but whether the players are taking notice, that's another matter. Jones with the drive up the middle. This now is Watson.
Got to be offside.
Well, now then, he's in the bin.
He's got to go. Medley made no attempt to get back. He wasn't marking. He was to the right-hand side of the play of the ball. It's no good shaking your head. He lost the plot, grabbed the man, and that. See how he went back? Can't do that. He has enough experience as Paul Medley to know that he cannot get involved from that position.
Well, the referee told both sets of players. Next one would be in the bin, and he is consistent. Medley off, 10 minutes. Bradford down to 12. Last 5 minutes of this half and first 5 of the second.
Desperation now for the balls in their defensive pattern.
Chambers gets the pass away. Willie Swan. Quick play the ball. Drop goal attempt from Willie Swan. Misses. It was Sculthorpe who was tackled originally. Quick play the ball from him. Back to Watson. Into the arms of Swan. Miss.
Had all the time in the world. Hooked it to the right. Or sliced it, should I say. Well, good thinking by Willie Swan. He's had a fine first half. Been probing and trying to find the gaps in this defensive side. And the pattern that they've been running the angle and bringing the ball back has created a lot of confusion in this Bradford's defence.
Well, last season, Warrington lost to Bradford here by 34 points to 44. It was just before Christmas, and it was one of the turning points, really, in the Bradford revolution. It's much tougher here in the sunshine of a glorious summer's evening in Super League. 10-4, Warrington are ahead. Less than 4 minutes now to half-time. Robbie Paul from dummy half. McNamara, out wide it goes to Callan. Callan pushes the foot down on the gas, turns the ball back inside, and Coe Love picks up, I was talking about December, he picks up an early Christmas present.
Well, great work by Callan, and then just thrown away. The opportunity. Perhaps thought that the momentum was going to take him into touch, so he took the gamble. It didn't come off. It was a beautiful pass out wide from McNamara. For once, they caught the Warrington defence tight on the outside.
Chambers, hauled down. 3 minutes now to half-time, and it will be a welcome half-time breather for these players. And I'm sure the coaches will have plenty to say.
Well, what on earth are they doing that for?
Well, he will get applause from the crowd because he's found the right side of the corner flag, but you're absolutely right. Why not hoist the high kick?
I just can't believe that they're keeping a low-kicking game. The shadows are getting longer. OK, they could come up with a mistake from the Bradford side. Well, it's bemusing me, I'll tell you.
Referee wants the scrum to form properly before Robbie Paul feeds. And Paul Sculthorpe was out round the back of that scrum and skirting before the ball had come clear. And that should have been a penalty to Bradford.
Good tackle, though, from Coe Love. Just got fingertips to Bradley. But surprisingly, you notice how Bradley got the half break. There was no support. Great tackle, though, from Anari, wasn't it?
Another great tackle it was. This is Bernard Dwyer. Well, the Warrington pack are just out-muscling the Bradford 6 at the moment. Bradley at the middle. It's a great defensive show from Warrington, and they've scored the game's 2 tries so far. McNamara, Callan. Tried his luck on the touchline, came back inside and found formidable opponent in Coe Love. McNamara, well, he hoists the bomb. Scales missed it again.
Got the fingertips to it, and they'll be on the last.
There's the half-time siren. John Scales, a couple of fumbles in the first half, but it's Warrington who have stolen a half-time lead of 10 points to 4, courtesy of 2 tries, one from Henare and one from Rudd. Willie Swan has worked hard the scrum half, and Coe Love. It's been a useful combination. McNamara with 2 penalty goals, all that Bradford have to show. Warrington ahead 2 tries to 0. 10 points to 4 on the scoreboard, and these players going now into the cool of their dressing room for, I would imagine, words of wisdom from both coaches. And I wonder whether Bradford will utilise the high kick second half. 10-4, Warrington ahead.
What if the dream of time travel is a reality?
If you go back and you change something, it's serious.
It's going to take a special type of cop
This one is mine.
to patrol time. Van Damme in Time Cop premieres tonight at 10 on the Movie Channel.
Time Cop is just one of 46 television premieres this month on Sky's 3 movie channels.
Call 0990 10 20 30 and we'll switch you on.
This summer, thanks to Vauxhall's 50/50 offer, you can have 2 years free from monthly repayments and 0% interest. Just pay half now and half in 2 years. Alternatively, the windfall payment plan requires just a 20% deposit. They'll pay your first 4 monthly repayments, leaving you with 4 free months. Hopefully. Take advantage of Vauxhall this summer. Don't pay them.
JVC did the impossible.
They've done the impossible.
He was determined to show the entire world.
Wait till they get a load of this.
And she would have a night she'd never forget.
We're completely surrounded.
JVC.
Impossible.
Presents a world first in television.
Incredible.
3D Phonic, a home cinema sound system with Dolby Pro Logic.
Impossible.
No external speakers and no cables.
Amazing.
3D Phonic from JVC.
So you have leeches.
Termites.
Bugs and bacteria.
Creepy things.
They're not that nasty.
Just how well can a big company like BT meet the needs of a small customer? All these creepy things hanging about. What do you do with them?
Basically, we're natural history filmmakers.
How important are communications to you?
We need to be able to communicate with our customers.
It's not just telephones.
Email and internet.
Faxes, of course.
And you do all of this through BT?
That's right.
Why?
BT came along, gave us the total package rather than individual bits.
Do you save money on it?
Hundreds over the year.
What about growth?
The ISDN service.
Because we want to put pictures down the line.
And also they're able to help with the website.
We've got lots of spiders here.
BT can help your business grow. Call BT Business Connections on 0800 800 800. Be smart, BT.
Tough old contest, isn't it? Warrington 10, Bradford 4. 2 tries for Warrington. Richard Hanari and Chris Rudd, who has also kicked a goal. McNamara with the 2 penalties for Bradford. I think we're in for a really rugged second half here as Bradford maybe come back. I wonder, though, what's happened to Bradford. They're a shadow of the side that beat St Helens and Wigan last week, and Andy Gregory, the Salford coach, I wonder whether you can put your finger on it. Is it the Wigan factor? A lot of clubs who play so well against Wigan, they can't back up the following week.
No, what you find, teams who do beat, like you just said, teams who do beat Wigan tend to lose the week after. But I think a lot of credit's got to go down to the Warrington defence. They certainly got stuck in there. I mentioned before the game, you know, the 2 back rowers, Paul Hume and Paul Cullen. They certainly got in. Sculthorpe's having a tremendous first half, I think, and full credit to to John Doré. Bradford, as I mentioned before, I thought they'd go away and win the game, and I still do. But Warrington have got to play for 80 minutes, and if they can keep on defending like that, Bradford are going to fight all the way.
Now, you know, you've been out there on the field and you know how strong this sun is, people can see, because you've got a bit of a suntan from that first half. But, I mean, why haven't Warrington hoisted the high kick?
I don't know. There's a few things in the game which puzzle me. You know, Robbie Paul started the game very well, and then he had a 20-minute spell where he went out of the game, and then, you know, he made a few breaks late on. But, you know, with the sun as strong as it is, you know, they haven't used, you know, the tactical kick, especially the bomb, at all. There's been some poor options, and I'm sure, certainly Brian Smith at our time, I was down there listening to, you know, through the headphones of Matthew Elliott, and, geez, there's some strong words coming out from Brian Smith.
I bet there is. Well, Brian Smith, his eyes were shielded by the sunshine, by the sunglasses from the sunshine, Steve-o, so he will know, as you do, that that's the tactic for the second half, surely, because that sun is going to hover over this ground all the way through the second half.
Yeah, but I don't think that's the only tactic that he'll be trying to enforce upon his players, because he'll be disappointed with the way certain aspects went over. Bradford have been very, very strong in their ability to back up the man carrying the football. Over the past 3 or 4 weeks, we've seen them spinning the tackle. We haven't seen that from Bradford today, and that's mainly being brought about by the fact that Warrington's defence is very, very strong. The referee's having a lot of trouble keeping them back the full complement of 10. And that's the reason why he's had to start using the sin bin situation, because it got a little bit farcical at times. If he can make sure that they get back, I'm sure that they will get a far more open game in the second half. But they've got to improve a heck of a lot of Bradford. They've got to get the tactics right, not just with the kicking, but they've also got to get more running from the play of the ball. We've only seen James Lowe's make one run from the dummy half situation. And that's where they're very, very strong. And I also think that they'll use Bradley, as we've seen over the past few weeks. They'll start utilising more as a forward player. He hasn't made anything other than half a break in the standoff position. And I think you'll see that Bradley will inject a little bit more enthusiasm into the taking on this Warrington defence. But it's very, very tight. I wouldn't know which way to go.
Well, Bradford, of course, are coming into this match on the back of 2 wins against the league leaders. Warrington are well up for it, there's no doubt about that. But they've come up with the 2 tries in the first half, and you want to make a couple of points.
Well, it's the enthusiasm, isn't it, really, that we talked about Bradford not getting the support play, but look how enthusiastic this guy is here. This is Inari, he will come through. This is where you go looking. It's all about team spirit. Sculthorpe, he's had a fine first half. This ability to turn the ball back inside, that split the Bradford defence on more than one occasion, and that was a fine try. He worked very, very well, Inari, worked hard and coming. It's great to see wingmen wanting to do that work and to come and help and get the ball and run through and score the try, and it came off. But this one, well, you've got to hand this down to poor tackling. There you see they went far too high. Loughlin coming across. Hume did well. Rudd also, but I'm afraid that Gary Christie will not like this attempt. He was clutching at straws and finished up without the soda pop. It was a great try by Rudd. Really did work very, very well, but a very poor attempt at tackle. And I'm sure that Brian Smith will be making sure that his players make sure that one line of defence is solid this second half.
We saw there, leading up to the Chris Rudd try, Andy, the terrific break from Paul Hume, and he really has made a difference, hasn't he, since he's got here?
He has. He's him and David Hume, you know, 2 tremendous professionals. I'm sure Dean Bell at Leeds, you know, he knows he's made a good signing. And Paul Hume here, everything he does is professional. You know, I played against him for many, many years when they was at Widnes, and I'm sure now Dougie Lawton's, you know, and the Widnes supporters just realise, you know, what they are missing. The total attitude on and off the field by the 2 Humes, they are a credit to the game.
And they've really, well, Paul Hume has really lifted the Warrington spirits since he has been here. Well, can they continue it in the second half? Warrington, as I say, are really up for this match because Bradford have come into the game on the back of impressive wins against the league leaders in successive weeks. But it is Warrington who lead at half-time. They've scored the 2 tries. Richard Hanari with the first and Chris Rudd with the second. It's 10-4 at the break.
That's what a country smells like, you doll down there. Remind me, I bet he was popular.
Oh, it's lovely.
Hello to you. All right, mate. All right, then, please yourself.
I'm scared, Mum. Come on then, love.
If you need a quick decision on a mortgage, phone NatWest.
Thanks very much.
Here, haystacks. What's for dinner, my old mate?
0800 22 9966.
In 1980, tickets for the Russian ballet were in great demand. But the ballet wasn't the main attraction. Making its Moscow debut was the smooth taste of Heineken Export. Heineken Export, the world's favorite import.
With the Sunday Mirror, 3 free lottery syndicate tickets plus 8 free instant scratch cards.
Yes. Yes! Yes!
Only with the Sunday Mirror tomorrow.
Lucky Charms make people feel secure and confident. Apparently this tiger tooth amulet protects you and your possessions with the power of a tiger. Well, would you try to steal his lunch? I prefer a more sophisticated symbol of security. The new Citroen Saxo VSX has remote central locking and an engine immobiliser. Don't worry, mate. You're safe in here.
Come on, Gran. In the net, Gran.
Need some help buying your first home? Phone NatWest on 0800 22 9966.
It's all a terrible conspiracy.
To get a result.
That is a really good catch.
And to keep you thoroughly entertained.
It's a thrilling encounter.
And all in one day.
They're absolutely delighted.
So, for run-making, six-scoring, dare-diving, Sunday League cricket, you just have to follow this one rule.
You have to be at the right place at the right time.
In association with Ford Mondeo, Northansby, Middlesex, tomorrow at 2, live on Sky Sports.
Only Wigan and St Helens have won here this season. It's a difficult place to win, Wilderspool against Warrington. Bradford will emerge for the second half knowing they can virtually guarantee the top 3 if they win, maybe even second. They're trailing 10-4 at the break, and Robbie Paul, the inspirational Bradford Bulls captain, knows that his team must step up the pace in this second half if they are to go home with their 3rd impressive win in as many weeks. And there's the statistics from the first half: 7 scrums, 12 penalties. Warrington having the better of the possession, and that's reflected in the 10-4 scoreline at the top. Bradford, 115 tackles to 98 by Warrington. They have come up with 11 missed tackles. It's been a disciplined performance by Warrington then. Clean breaks are about level pegging. Handling errors, though, Bradford have made 8 to Warrington's 3. And the kicks, well, Warrington have tried to utilise the kicking game more so than the Bradford Bulls. And I wonder whether Brian Smith will have listened in to our half-time discussion. I'm sure he hasn't. But I wonder whether he will have told his players to pepper Lee Penny, the Warrington fullback, with high kicks that will certainly be caught in this glorious sunshine that we've got here at Warrington tonight. It's one of the tactics that we might look out for during the course of the second half, which is now underway, courtesy of the whistle of Stuart Cummins, the boot of Lee Penny. And this is Gary Christie who will run that ball back at the Warrington defence. Warrington have made a change. Toa Love has gone off and Selesi Finau has come on. Steve-O, that can surely only be for injury, because Love was having a wow of a game.
Sure it was. In that first 40 minutes, especially the first 20, he had full control of it. He was a man that they were launching all their attacks for, and it must be an injury to him. Well, it goes from bad to worse for Warrington, doesn't it? They lose Justin Harris just before the kick-off, and now The man they put in his place in the standoff position, Koe Love, he's off now.
This is the battle, Steve-O, between Koe Love and Calland.
Well, there you can see that Koe Love takes it with the tackles, but the clean break by Calland. But Koe Love has been instrumental in creating. One error each, kicks in general play, not much in it. There's still a good battle in the next 40 minutes.
Temporarily suspended, maybe, with Koe Love off the field. Just chasing news of Koe Love, see whether it is a tactical change by John Doherty or whether it is an injury. This is Paul Cullen. And making the break from dummy half is Chris Watson. Now Mark Jones taking Warrington to the halfway line.
Good work by the forwards. They ground that meterage out there very well indeed, and again they're going forward, getting over the advantage line.
Last tackle here for Warrington. High kick now, and this time Warrington playing with the sun in their eyes. Incredible, isn't it? Tamani, though, did well to take that high kick. Didn't play that ball properly, and it's going to be a penalty.
No, it's the other way around. He was pushed to the ground. He couldn't play it. Well, it was a great take, wasn't it, by Joe Tamani? And he went to ground, and from this instance, there was no chance he could play that ball. He was pushed to the ground by Richard Anari, the winger. Well, what a let-off, because it was a nice bomb. Well, it's amazing, isn't it? As you mentioned, Eddie, they utilised just one high kick in the first half when the sun was streaming into Bradford's eyes. And we're barely into the second half, and they put a bomb up.
Let's find out what the news is on Koe Love as we go to the pitch side and Alistair Mann.
Well, the news initially is quite good for Koe Love's return, at least. He took a bang to the head in a tackle just near the end of the first half, and he's got a little bit of mild concussion and a little bit of a bruising on the side of his head, but they do think he'll probably return, provided, of course, he clears his head. Stuart Spruce, the fullback of Bradford Bulls, not such good news about him. He's nipped a disc in his lower back. He was rolling around on the side of the pitch and they were hoping it might recover, but it's doubtful now that Stuart Spruce will return, almost certain that he probably won't.
Keeping in touch with events from the dressing room and out on the field as McNamara gets the pass in here to Bradley, and Bradley sets off on the run. He is supported here by Matt Calland. Calland, oh, great try, Calland! He took on Lee Penny and he left him for dead. Through a couple of dummies on the inside, Calland did brilliantly and Lee Penny didn't know which way to turn. And Calland gets his 11th try in the Super League. Paul Medley with a minute and a half to go in the sin bin. They've scored with 12 men on the field and Matt Calland's come up with the goods.
Well, Matt Calland may have got the 4 points, but put it down to the big fella, Graham Bradley. Run out wide, rung the arc, see, through the little dummy, back on the inside. Great positioning there by Matt Calland. They went too high, not the best effort by Lee Penny. He should have nightmares about that one. Even Matt Calland was surprised, but watch out Bradley. He gets the ball from McNamara. Bradley runs the arc. See how 2 went out. 2 left the gap. Through the dummy here. Oh, not the best, Mr. Penny. No change from that. He was put off balance, to be fair, but he should never, ever take a dummy. But that was a great effort.
First try for Matt Calland in 6. Converted by Steve McNamara. Scores a level at Wilderspool. And the huge travelling army of Bradford Bull supporters are in a lot happier frame of mind now.
2 went out on the sideline. They should never do that. 1, yes. 1 has to fill in. It was enough for the half break from Bradley. And Penny took the dummy off balance. He won't like that. Calland will, though.
Kick-off from McNamara has found touch just about a foot inside the field of play.
Well, Anari would not have been able to see that because of the sun. You could see Anari was just stood there. saying what on earth was happening. So the tactics of kicking into this corner from Bradford are already beginning to work.
Warrington in possession then, underneath their own posts. Paul Medley waiting to come back into the action, out of the sin bin, as Forster takes them on, but it was Dwyer and also Bradley who got the tackle in. Just the start to the second half that Brian Smith would have demanded of his Bradford Bulls players. Level terms now, 5 minutes of the second half gone. Swan to Paul Hume. Paul Hume taking on Jeremy Doniger and putting his hand straight in the big Australian's face, and Doniger, credit him, he would not be brushed aside, but we can't credit Willie Swan for the kick. Sailed out on the full.
Not the best, was it? He was not under pressure either. Well, mistakes coming fast and furious in the Warrington outfit.
McDermott slips the ball well. Lowe's gets it away to Medley, back on. Bradford now up to a full complement of 13. But how well do they do when they play 12-man rugby, this team? Doniger's gone off and Sonny Nicol has come on. This, though, is the try scorer, Matt Calland. Now McNamara. Tackled by Mark Jones. He was going nowhere then. Lowe's. McDermott. Straight up the middle from McDermott. Desperate defence from Chambers.
Warrington defence are not moving forward. They're hanging back. They're waiting for the ball carrier. You can't afford to do that.
The ball carrier this time is Robbie Paul. He gets it away to Medley. Medley gets away from Sculthorpe. Sculthorpe comes back for a second attempt. And with Paul Hume, Medley is brought to ground. Long pass out wide to Paul Loughlin. He dabs it through. Penny read it. Good tackle, though, by Sonny Nicol on the Warrington fullback.
Good attack, good defence. Penny, great positioning.
Well, it's a good match, this, isn't it?
Yeah, end-to-end stuff.
All that we thought it would be.
The experience there of Penny, but it was a great tackle from Nicol. And look at that one line of defence from Bradford. They're getting it right this second half. A pep talk at half-time, no doubt, from Brian Smith. It's worked wonders again.
Problems there for Gary Chambers, the Warrington prop forward. He was injured in that tackle. He hasn't moved. Mark Jones is the man who takes that particular tackle. This now is Chris Watson, dumped to the ground by Dwyer. Hume to Swan, to Sculthorpe. Out wide it goes to Roper.
Well, the big problem Warrington have now with the fact that Toa Koe-Love is off the field, they really don't have anybody out there who can actually break the defence.
Huge kick, fumbled by Tamani. They've got the ball back, though. It went backwards. Play on, says the referee.
Well, the crowd don't like it. They said there was interference for someone trying to get to the football there.
Koe-Love returns for Warrington. He's needed. And Finau, the man who replaced him at half-time, goes off. Joe Tamani again, somewhat starved of possession on the wing, so he's come in field looking for work, the big Bradford Bulls winger. This now is Nicol.
I think it's Christian that's receiving treatment way back downfield, so Bradford down to 12.
Bradley to Medley. Good, strong tackle from Chambers. Lowe's. Lowe's, nowhere to go, gave it to Calland. Calland across the face of play. Hume and Sculthorpe gets the ball away. That was picked up brilliantly by Robbie Paul. Nicol. Nicol's got Forster ahead of him. Ball spins out again. Off goes Scales. John Scales against Lee Penny. Penny wins that little battle. Gary Christie is hopping off to the sideline. This attack continues with Medley. Medley dumps the ball down. Who wants it? Lowe's hacks forward. And the referee orders a dropout from underneath the Warrington posts.
Medley did well. He pushes the ball back. It went backwards. It wasn't a knock-on. Lowe's kicked it forward, diffused there in the in-goal area. It's a dropout from underneath the sticks. Good job that that man was there.
listen to the Bradford Bulls crowd who have come over here for this match tonight. Wherever they go, there they are behind those sticks. Wherever they go, they bring about 3,000 or 4,000 with them now. Glenn Tomlinson comes on for the injured Gary Christie.
Well, one man they've got to bring with them all the time is their substitute, Paul Medley. He does have a great knack of changing the course of the game.
Here he is again, Medley. Just run from the substitute. It takes 3 to bring him down. What a start to this second half for the Bulls. Tomlinson, Bradley to McDermott, scores the try. The big prop forward. Brian McDermott, in his 33rd consecutive appearance for Bradford Bulls, gets his 4th try in Super League. Warrington cut to shreds.
Beautiful play. It was Medley that got him into this position. Tomlinson onto Bradley, and the big fella gleefully gets that. Beautiful run from Medley. You'd think he was a 19-year-old. He's a lot older than that. You'll excuse me for saying that because he's playing in top form. Tomlinson rung the angle, back on the inside. Bradley, once again. Oh, the big fella's in. McDermott enjoyed that. That was a fine try.
And from bang in front, Steve McNamara adds the extras, and Bradford take the lead. 16 points to 10. The match has turned in the opening 10 minutes of this second half.
Tomlinson running the angle. Bradley does the angle back. Sucks in 2. That's a great try. They don't come much better than that. He's happy too.
He should be, because that is Bradford's 100th try in the Super League this summer. McNamara restarts, and a knock-on from the captain, Paul Cullen, behind his own line. Warrington, Steve-O, to use one of yours, are losing the plot.
Losing? I think they've lost it. He knows. He should have used the foot. Mistake was there.
Sonny Nicol will try and run this ball back again, but the Bradford crowd really getting to John Dorahy and the Warrington side now, I'm sure. And they really are getting behind their side. Bradford running towards the posts, behind which they are all massed. And this is Lowe's.
Well, the one thing that Bradford were not doing in the first half, and that was twisting and turning in the tackle.
Look at the crowd, they're loving this.
And why not? It's excellent football. Bradley's leading the way.
McDermott back to Lowe's. Robbie Paul, the dummy half, spins the ball to McNamara. This is Bernard Dwyer. Bernard Dwyer, desperate defence from Coe Love. He hangs on. Lachlan in at dummy half. Gives it to Calland out wide. That's great defence. Super defence from Hanari.
What body strength. Hanari just picked Calland up and says, you're going nowhere.
Lachlan with the kick through over the top of the posts, but the ball spins away. Wasn't a drop goal attempt again. It was just a volley, a tactical kick, and it came to naught.
Not a good one, but what great strength here by Hanari. Calland thought it was 4 points for all the world. That is strength. You're going nowhere, man.
Well, I'll tell you something, Matt Calland is not the weakest player in the Bradford side, and that took something from Hanari to stop the downward pressure, because it was a try all over. But well done, Hanari. Great defence.
It's kept them in the game. They really were on the rack, Warrington. Now then, can this man Coe Love turn the tide?
Look at the tide that is flowing in Bradford's favour. 68% to 32. Possession, second half. Paul Hume, star for Warrington first half. Unloads the pass to Swan. This now is Penny. Penny trying to go inside Lowe's.
They've got to get a little bit deeper though, Warrington. Give themselves some extra space.
Here's Cullen. Long pass out wide. Hanari tried to take it on the bounce. Referee will surely play the knock-on. On the last tackle, it's the turnover.
It was a gamble, a long ball out wide from Cullen. It hit the deck first, and Hanari didn't get the right bounce. Well, it looked at a point that Warrington were just going to be blitzed, but full credit to them. Scrambling defence. That wonderful effort from Anare to stop Callan from scoring.
Such an exciting player, Robbie Paul, but he got the pass back, and unfortunately for him, right into Warrington's arms.
Well, at least they are keeping the ball alive. It's something they didn't do in the first half. He's lost it.
He did. Sculthorpe lost that. The ball spun out, and it's a knock-on. Just sheer weight of the tackle on the young Sculthorpe.
Bang. Nickel coming over the top. He tried to sneak it back in before the referee could see it, but he couldn't convince the touch judge. Well, Robbie Paul,
he's hit his average,
and he'll be looking for more. He'll be eager for work. He made 2 great breaks. 50-60 metres in the first half. We could do with a couple more like that now.
John Scales picks himself up, quick play the ball, but good stern defence again from Warrington. Pretty solid in defence now. They'll have to be to defend this run from Nickel, and they are. They haul him back, but only just.
But you could see that Warrington's defence was slow again to move forward. Quick play the ball, it's catching them out. That's going to be a penalty.
He's dropped it.
Oh, dear me.
It's a penalty to Warrington, to Bradford. Someone's on his way to the bin.
Sculthorpe, is it?
No, Paul Hume. Paul Hume takes the walk to the sidelines. He's got 10 minutes in the bin. Stealing the ball. Professional foul underneath the sticks. Knew Bradford were on a roll.
Sheer desperation there. And you can see interfering. They're struggling, I'm afraid, Warrington in defence. Good run from dummy half from Nickel. That's where they're catching them out. The Bulls are playing the ball extremely quickly. And Hume adds even more pressure to his side.
So from bang in front of the post, Steve McNamara with another opportunity to add an extra 2. Just increase the lead slightly, turn up the pressure on this Warrington defence. Doesn't miss from there. They're loving it, aren't they? Bradford Bull supporters now travel in great numbers wherever their team are playing. They're a credit to Super League. The club's a credit to Super League. And the way they've bounced back in this match, terrific at the start of the second half. But look at the crowd here as well at Warrington on this glorious evening. Huge crowd in shirt sleeves watching the action here. They really have made an effort for this match. And we must credit Warrington as well for the hard work that they've done. And there's over 8,000 in the ground here tonight. They've just announced that. So that's fantastic for them. Well done, Warrington. It's nearly 8,500. Well done to them. The best crowd of the season to see the informed team in Super League. And they're being treated here to a real battle between these two sides.
Things getting a little bit excited out there. There's been a lot of verbal being thrown around. Got to keep an eye on this as Stuart Cummings, the referee.
Jones takes the tackle, and interference, not allowing Mark Jones to get back to his feet. Another penalty, Warrington.
See how Bernard Dwyer just held hold of the shirt. It was enough to convince referee Stuart Cummings. Well, that's not the best idea from a seasoned professional. He won't mind. They're still in with it, this Warrington side. They're just plugging away there.
Remember, of course, Paul Hume off the field in the sin bin. Warrington down to 12 men. Chambers gets the pass back to Watson, to Swan, to Cullen. Coelho went without the ball. McNamara picked it up.
Bad mistake there. Just hit the left shoulder. Coelho should have taken it in. Pretty powerful pass from Cullen, but you've got to take those chances.
Nickel trying to spin in the tackle and get away from Sculthorpe. A little bit of feeling between Sculthorpe and Nickel. Lowe's. Ball bounces backwards. Oh, Sculthorpe clattered Nickel then.
Well, his first name's Sonny, but he didn't look too bright after this one. Ball comes away, and Sculthorpe, crunch time. Well, the touch judge was pretty close to that incident. He said it was all fair and square. Not so sure that Nicol would agree with him. Taking a well-earned breather there. He's happy just to lean on the pack. Well, we said it was getting hot. It was a big impact tackle.
Great ball that. This is Tomlinson. Tomlinson has got Paul on the inside. Referee must have played first knock on. That's why Bradford are in possession, in case you're wondering. McDermott, try scorer a few minutes ago. We're in the last quarter of this match. Tomlinson turns and creates space for Dwyer, and Dwyer scores. Bernard Dwyer gets his second in successive matches. A vital try against Wigan last week, and another one here underneath the sticks. And the Bradford Bulls fight back is complete. Look at the joy on the terraces.
Good strong work from the forwards. Long ball out wide. Tomlinson did well. Skirted back on the inside. Tremendous positioning by Dwyer. He's worked hard throughout this game. But the pass, and look how Tomlinson took it well. It's great to be able to bring on fresh legs. There's good defence to stop Paul, but from this play the ball. Beautiful work from Tomlinson. Dwyer, 100% man every game. Deserved that.
McNamara will try and have the extras, and from bang in front probably will. And does. 2 more points to the Bulls. 24 points to 10 now.
There you see Gary Chambers is sucked into Tomlinson, and look at the gap. Oh, Dwyer goes through it. Great positioning. Great try.
Ryan Smith, much happier, I'm sure, with what he's seen in this second half. But doesn't he come up with some vital tries? Bernard Dwyer, 1 against London. He missed the game against St Helens. 1 against Wigan, and 1 here tonight. So he scored against 2 of the top 4.
He's the sort of guy you'd like in your corner, wouldn't he? I mean, he just works and works and works.
One of the most underrated players in the game, Bernard Dwyer. Jonathan Roper returns for Chris Rudd. Warrington need to act quickly now. Henare couldn't get away from Carl Fairbank. Great cloud of dust as McNamara comes in and clatters Willie Swan. Here's Sculthorpe. Out wide it goes to Roper. Oh, that's a lovely ball to Forster. Beautiful pass round the corner from Roper.
Tremendous skills there. Well, the referee was looking for the offside, and I knew it was going to explode. Nicol's gone bananas.
Nicol and Forster. It's still on the last tackle. Referee rightly saying play on, and he'll deal with all that later. Ball back on the inside to McNamara. There's only half of the players involved, and now there's another fight breaking out. Henare on this side. Oh, this is crazy. There's a battle between Nicol and Forster on one side, and the next thing is it breaks out again between Henare and someone else, and it's still going on. The referee and touch judge, they've got to take action over this now. Tempers have boiled with the weather.
Well, Henare will not let go. Lowe's has just pulled some apart, and I think Lowe's actually contacted referee Stuart Cummins.
He did. But it was
an accidental. Yeah, it was accidental, but, well, we said a couple of minutes ago that things were just bubbling along. A lot of these players were just calling at each other. Verbeling was becoming order of the day, and why on earth Henare lost his cool on that point. Cummings says, get away. Not surprisingly, he's saying it to the big guys too. Well, there's Nicol in the background with Forster. They went hammer and tongs. Then they came across. There you see the referee saying it's the last tackle, keep going. And this was as the ball spun away, and then for some unknown reason, Henare says, take that. Tomlinson, I think it was underneath all that. Well, this will take some sorting out. Cummings is talking to both the touch judges. The crowds are chanting off, off, off. Touch judges got involved. Whack. Wasn't a bad one, was it, there from Anari?
Well, someone's got to be given the red card here. Never mind yellow.
Well, they'll get sin bin because, you know, sin bin, punching, that's all right.
It's a disgrace.
Of course it is. They get away with swinging arms, but if you throw a little punch, well, go and get 10 minutes in the sin bin.
Referee wants players to come to him.
What colour will it be? I reckon there'll be 4 going here. But really, you can't blame Tomlinson.
Well, you can't. Nicol and Forster, I think, are certainly on the way. Sonny Nicol take 10 minutes, he says.
Now then, will Forster go with him? Well, if Tomlinson goes for that one, Anari has to go, surely.
Forster's gone. And he now wants the 2 captains, and he's going to lay the law down to the captains, but Henari has escaped.
Don't hold your breath. Well, throw a punch on the right-hand side, 10-minute sin bin.
Everyone else is on report. And it's a penalty for Warrington for the first offence on the far side. Everybody involved in the second brawl, the referee says he's on report because they're not sure what happened. Well, have a look at this. This is what happened.
Well, Tomlinson hasn't got the football. Crack. Now, if you can't see that...
Well, to be fair, Steve-O, there was mayhem going on behind him. Mind you, he's looking.
Well, there's crack.
And he saw that because there he is.
Of course it is. And what about this guy coming in from the right with a flag? Don't just wave it. Start talking and tell the referees to it Cummins. Well, Anari, you should buy a lottery ticket.
Well, everybody is on report who was involved in that brawl. And there are 2 men in the sin bin. Now, where does that leave us? Have Warrington got back to 11 now, or... Anyway, it's Chambers.
Oh, you could fry an egg out there. That's how hot it is.
Swan, straight into the arms of Bradley. Referee blows the whistle.
Offside.
Someone was offside.
He's played the advantage. Oh, Warrington want to get on with this as quickly as possible. Bradley can't believe it. Well, you can barely hear yourself think here. Stuart Cummins won't be able to hear a thing. The crowd have absolutely gone bananas at it.
Watson restarts. This is Coe Love. Cullen. Finau drops it under pressure from Tomlinson.
No, it was knocked down in mine. Tomlinson went for the football, I feel, on this occasion, Eddie. Yeah, he went with the arm and got away with it.
One-on-one.
Some people don't like the new rule. I do. If you can't hold on to the ball, that's your problem.
McNamara, Robbie Paul. Now then, Bradley gets past Cullen. Support arrives from McDermott. McDermott trundling upfield. Looks for the runners. The runner was Lowe's.
They're going high. They're getting frustrated. Keep an eye out, Mr. Cummings, please.
Fairbank. The referee shouts that the tackle is held with Fairbank up on his feet. McNamara. Tomlinson. Tomlinson through a little gap. Oh, out the back door, but off the fist of Bernard Dwyer, and Richard Anari knows the chance has gone.
Good effort by Tomlinson there. Trying to keep it alive. Just a little bit too hard for Dwyer. He had Anari in attention. Well, end-to-end stuff, plenty for the crowd. It's hot out there, it's hot everywhere.
Chambers off, Mackie on. Warrington now have used all their substitutes. They play on now till the end of the match with what is out there on the field and what has to return from the sin bin. Paul Hume has returned.
It's a knock-on.
Great tackling by Robbie Paul.
Sculthorpe can't believe it. Robbie Paul really put his heart and soul into that tackle. It's a vital one as well. Bang, lifts him up. All fair and square. And the right elbow, once it hit the ground, Sculthorpe lost possession.
Here's Bradley then. Bradley is wrestled to the ground.
Surely it's forward work towards the post and go for the 1 point. That'll calm things down. Bradley's doing that now. It won't be pretty, but I bet it's effective.
Fairbank played the ball. Lowe's gives it to Dwyer, skips away from Finau, can't get away from the next two. McNamara, Robbie Paul to Lachlan, good tackling. Finau, Lowe's comes the other way, pops the pass out to Calland, over the top it goes to Tomlinson. They've got a 3 against 2 overlap, there's space for Bradley. Calland drops it. It was going all the way to McNamara, that pass. Matt Calland didn't need to be involved.
He knows it too. That's why Bradley was desperate to get the ball back into the middle, because from this resulting tackle, they would have gone for the 1 point field goal. That drop goal would have been so vital. Bad mistake from Calland. It's pressure stuff out there.
Not binding at the scrum, every single one, says Stuart Cummings. Penalty to Warrington. Differential penalty at the scrum.
Well, time is against them. You see how they break away. They can't do that until the ball has cleared the loose forward's feet. As we say, time against Warrington, but a quick try here. It could really set the cat amongst the pigeons.
Mark Jones trundles the ball upfield, 10 metres inside the Bradford half. Watson, and takes over again from Swan. Here's Swan once more, and Coelove. Lost a lot of the direction they had in the first half, Warrington. Sculthorpe might provide a bit. Paul Hume could. The ball was stolen from the tackle. Two-man tackle. Penalty Warrington.
Well, what on earth was Fairbank thinking there?
Warrington want to get on with it quickly.
Bradley was in attention.
This is Willie Swan. Swan to Sculthorpe. Great tackle from Fairbank. Coelove. It's on the line. It could be a try. The crowd say it is. The referee hands it on to the video ref. Warrington believe Coelove has scored. They might have a case. It's now in the hands of modern technology and the video referee.
He went low, McNamara and Bradley. Did he have the strength? And did he get the length with the arms? Oh, it's pretty hard. I think he might be short there, but oh, that's on the line. It was all movement. He wasn't stopped. Oh, that's going to be a hard one. Yep, I think that would be mine.
Well, on the line is a try. If the video ref thinks it's touched the line, it's 4 points Warrington.
It goes down, but it slides over. The momentum is still going.
I can tell you, Steve-O, Warrington have lined up the conversion attempt here. They believe it's a try.
It's an old ploy. I know it's only been going this season, the technology with a big screen, but it's an old ploy that all the sides do.
8,500 pair of eyes are fastened on the screen. They are watching exactly what you are watching, as is the video referee. There's a hush over the ground. We're waiting the decision.
Well, it was clear that the ball and the ball carrying arm...
Here it comes.
Came down just short of the line, but his movement...
Try's not given. He's held up over the line, though. It's a 10-metre scrum attack. So Warrington get head and feed.
Well, it appeared to me, the impact, the first impact with the ball carrying arm hit inside the field of play. So how on earth can it be this?
It's now with Coelove, who steps inside Lachlan. Coelove denied by modern technology. Willie Swan now. Finau. Ball spews out. Bradford breathe a sigh of relief.
Fina run into a brick wall then. That was great defence. The ball just spilt out. Bang. Bernard Dwyer. Rock solid like the Rock of Gibraltar. Oh, what on earth are Bradford trying to do?
Steve, just going back to that decision by the video referee. If the play is halted by the referee on the field and we go to the modern technology, the referee has then got to give the scrum with the feed to the attack at 10 metres, which is exactly what we've seen here tonight.
I apologise to Mr. Cummings and all officials concerned.
There's another first on Sky Sports. Great run from Penny, this.
It's a time factor, though. They desperately needed that try. It really would have lifted their spirits. They've got to gamble now. They've just got to keep on with it.
Well, time running out. Just a little more than 8 minutes. Watson, he just lost his footing as he collected that pass. Oh, and he's taken a bang in the ribs as well. Willie Swan, Paul Cullen, Paul Sculthorpe stands in the tackle, looks for someone to come and take it off him. Love obliges. Coy Love has got support. Great defence. They keep the ball alive. Love again. And more great defence. Oh, but Tamani drops it. 6 to go. Finau. 6 to go for Warrington.
Good play by the referee. He allowed it the advantage. They're going down like 9 pins all over the place.
Swan, Paul Hume, long pass. Lee Penny just hangs on.
Good work from Scales, come off the touchline. There's players down all over this joint here. What a tough, rough game this has been. Oh, big impact. Ball came clear.
John Roper, he plays the ball to Lee Penny. This now is Willie Swan. He dabs it through. Willie Swan, that looked to me like he was impeded, and it's a penalty. A penalty to Warrington.
I'm not so sure that shouldn't have been a penalty try.
I'm with you.
There's no full-back. There's no one at home. Tomlinson came screaming back. Well, it was a clear line. He was deliberately taken out there. Okay, Tomlinson was there, but the chance that there was no one at home. Well, maybe Cummings was just persuaded by the fact that the substitute, Glenn Tomlinson, came back quickly.
Cullen to Maffey. Matiaki Maffey gets the try. That try's been coming and coming. They were denied by the video ref, but it can't be denied now. Matiaki Maffey scooted in the Tongan.
It had to come, didn't it? The penalty was given away. Run out wide, you could see Tomlinson had been sucked in. Callan was beaten, but I'm not so sure they should have planted the ball down straight away. Now, this is the incident where it came through that I think perhaps could have been given a penalty try, but they did score, and he did it well. But why on earth did he plonk the ball straight away? There was no one near him. He could have gone round underneath the post. That could be vital.
Yes, it could, because Yestin Harris isn't on the field, the regular goal kicker, but John Roper is. And Roper is the man now with the task of kicking this from the touchline. Remember a week ago, we saw kicks from the touchline in Paris change the course of a match dramatically, but that one won't. 14-24, 10 points the difference.
See how Tomlinson's come out of the line. There's a huge gap, and that created a lot of problems. But good work there. Why on earth did he just plonk it straight down? He was obviously excited at making the break, but he could have gone round at least another 15 to 20 metres, and that could prove vital. Have they got the time?
They've got 5.5 minutes. That's out on the full. John Roper.
Well, they blew the bubble up and then came with a pinprick. You could just feel it drain from the crowd, couldn't you? Dearie me, what a mistake.
I'm just trying to work out how you blow a bubble up on a night like this.
Well, it exploded, didn't it?
It did for Warrington. Here's Medley.
Well, it's up the jumper time now for Bradford. Good, hard, solid work by the forwards.
Lowe's. Medley, by the way, has just come back on the field for Paul Loughlin.
Will Robbie Paul, will they elect for 1 point? They should do.
Tomlinson, Paul, spinning Paul. Warrington close him down, but they're bang in front of the sticks now. Will they set for the one? No, McNamara gives it to McDermott. Tackled by Cullen.
Tomlinson will, surely.
No, they're going the other way again. McNamara just dabs it through, and Mark Forster read the script. And he's tackled in goal. That's great stuff. Oh, dear, dear.
Well, I'm not so sure that we could have finished off like that. They've done their work. And they don't have to put him down the camera, it's gone right over as the camera and everything. Let's hope the cameraman's okay. Well, they'd done their job. Once they knew that they couldn't get it, Forster, he knew he couldn't get back in the field of play. It was a nice little option to put the pressure on. Looked as though Forster had made it. Then they get through to it. Scales and McNamara goes in. But this is enough, fellas. We could do without this. Oh, dearie me.
Mark Forster knew he was going straight at the lens. Oh. Could be an expensive clatter, that. But we're just wondering how the cameraman is on the far side. He's surrounded by St John's Ambulance Brigade. And the camera is US. Here's Robbie Paul. Here's Bradley. Bradley through, and Bradley will score, and that'll win it. Graham Bradley gets the try. That's the match for the Bradford Bulls. They celebrate.
Well, that's silly from Graham Bradley. All right, he's got winning money. They've got the vital 2 points, but he doesn't have to rub it in by that. It's been a spiteful game in the second half. Fairbank did well. He took it up, kept the ball alive. Lowe's, Paul out wide. To the dummy. Forster couldn't get to him. He's had a fine game, Graham Bradley. This is the match winner. But he said a few words, unkind words, I feel. Fairbank did well. Good tactics. Lovely stuff. He's a hard man to get down. So strong. Smile on his face. But he came back, turned around, and added a little bit of salt into the wound.
So Steve McNamara bang in front of the posts again. Makes no mistake. The Bulls have got this in their pocket now. 30 points to 14. Game's up for the Bulls. They've won 11 now of the last 12 since they got to Wembley.
Impressive performance and an impressive display in this second half. They were not allowed much option to get the ball alive in the first 40 minutes, but it's been a different kettle of fish in the second.
Gutsy display because it's been a rough and a tough encounter. And Bradford have come back from a half-time deficit. 10-4 it was. 30 points to 14 it is. And we are approaching the last minute of this match.
Well, they've earned their money on both sides. These players are struggling to finish this match. I'd like £1 for every bruise that will show up tomorrow morning on all these players. Well, as Eddie mentioned, it's been a rough, tough encounter. We knew it would be.
I can tell you something now. Our cameraman over on the far side is getting a great ovation from the Bradford public because he's up on his feet and he's being led away to safety. The kick downfield was from Sculthorpe. It bounces. It's going to be a Warrington try. Penny! Huge kick. Bounce. back in the field of play. Penny touches down. Stuart Cummings is not convinced.
Well, he was a fair way behind, was the referee. Either that or perhaps he was obstructed. Forson and Penny was going for it. I think you'll find that that's okay. Downward pressure with the right forearm.
It's a try. The referee has given the 4, but he was not terribly impressed with something that Lee Penny said to him when he went for the video screen. Lee Penny has been warned, but Warrington have got the 4 points.
Well, I think it went something on the lines, excuse me, sir, but I think you didn't have to go to the television screen for that one, please, sir.
Roper adds the extra 2.
Etc., etc.
20 points to 30.
Well, it's had everything this game, hasn't it?
I'll tell you what.
These players, they have given their heart and soul. Both sides deserve full credit.
Maffey gets the possession back for Warrington. There's the full-time siren. It's been a bruising encounter in more ways than one. We've got a cameraman who is receiving treatment. He is okay. The camera is broken in a big way. That's the shot from the camera, so that's gone. But what has also gone is another 2 points for Warrington. They have yet to beat a side that stands above them in the table, and Bradford Bulls have come up with a tremendous second-half display and have delighted their travelling army of fans. Plenty to talk about in this match. A game filled with high drama, particularly in the second half, and Bradford have come out and won by 30 points to 20.
August on Sky Sports. England's European Championship heroes return for a new season of Premier League football. And to mark the start of the new season, Man United and Newcastle clash for the Charity Shield. In worldwide rugby, South Africa face New Zealand. Sampras and Graf defend their titles at the US Open. England's cricketers take on Pakistan in the Texaco One-Day Internationals. And last year's runner-up Colin Montgomery joins Faldo and Co. in Kentucky for the US PGA Championship. Prince Nassim is back in big-time boxing. Can Fogarty ignite his fans once again when World Superbikes reach Brands Hatch? The top 4 teams play off in the Super League semi-finals. And Europe's finest golfers continue on tour at the British Masters. To reinforce Sky's commitment to live football, coming in August, the Nationwide Football League and the Coca-Cola Cup. Sky Sports in August.
My neighbor has kindly invited me to France with his charming family. I said, let's go by Eurostar, it's so easy. But he decided it would be more fun to drive the whole way.
Catch me!
Oh, fleas! What a pest, especially in the summer.
They always spoil our fun.
Molly, Henry, time for your flea control. So much for playtime.
What's this?
It's Program, a different kind of flea control. Easy, convenient, and available only on prescription from your vet. It's simple. 1 dose once a month in their food stops fleas breeding. Make Program central to your flea control this summer and all year round.
That was easy.
Yeah, easy as falling off. Oh!
Sky subscriber exclusive from Guardian Direct. Avoid nasty shocks. Take out low-cost home or car insurance with Guardian Direct and £25 cashback will come your way. Call 0645 282820 for a free quote and your subscriber benefit when you take out a policy. Or on your head be it. Don't miss out if you're a Sky subscriber. Call Guardian Direct on 0645 282820.
Please, get here as quickly as you can.
Look, I'm picking up the kids from school. I really can't be late. It's okay, sir. I could phone the school to warn them you might be delayed. Then I could sort out the car. Yes, hello? This is John Woods from the AA. I've got...
Give me a hand, Emma.
AA patrols are trained to solve members' problems, not just those under the bonnet. It's not surprising that to our members and their families, we're the fourth emergency service.
Yes, it was just the radiator hose. I see. Right. Well, thanks for everything. Bye.
Starting tomorrow, get a free Disney Hunchback of Notre Dame music and story tape from Woolworths, only in tomorrow's News of the World.
The gossip, the fix, the skip, the scam, the views, the news of the world.
Don't dare tell me that summer football doesn't produce drama, because we have had a tremendous match here tonight. Warrington 20, Bradford 30, and almost 8,500 here to see it. A super fight back by the Bradford Bulls in the second half. They came back and won it. We've lost a camera. We've got Andy Gregory here, who, of course, is a scrap metal merchant in his spare time when he does everything else. Do you want a camera, Andy?
Well, he certainly went with a bang, and I've already put a price in for it.
But a great game, wasn't it? It's a fantastic game.
It was tremendous. The Bradford Bulls, certainly in the second half, Bernard Dwyer and Graham Bradley took the game by the scruff of the neck. A few harsh words from Brian Smith at half-time, and he's got one over on Murph.
Absolutely has. And, Steve-O, those people who say that this is now a game of basketball, where on earth are they? Because they're not watching this.
Well, I said in the commentary, I'd love £1 for every bruise that will come up tomorrow. I think I've got bruises all over me. It was absolutely tremendous. Tremendous fight back by Bradford in that second half. And as Andy said, the way that Bradley just turns himself. We didn't see him in the first 40 minutes. He was shut out of the game, but it was a different matter. He played like a second rower, running out wide in the centres, turning in the tackle. He's so strong and very deceptive. People say that he hasn't got any speed, but when he wants to turn it on, he can do it.
Yes, terrific stuff. Andy, you really fancy getting into this lot in the Super League? You will now, because you're a coach, you're not playing.
No, it's... I'm glad I'm not a cameraman.
You won't get the chance to bid for the camera every week, you know.
No, I'm looking forward to getting the Salford Reds up and hopefully competing at the highest level. Like, tremendous game today. Full credit to all the players who took part.
It was a fabulous game, and it sets up the next game that we have for you beautifully, because London Broncos now have been thrown a lifeline for the top four. We'll have exclusive highlights from the Valley. Sunday evening, 9:30, London against Leeds. Game going to be played in the afternoon. Boots and All on Thursday at a slightly later time. 10:45 for Boots and All Thursday. Looking back, looking ahead. And what are we looking ahead to? The champions against Halifax, a game they must win. Live and exclusive at Central Park next Friday. And London against the Saints next Saturday evening at 5:30. Fabulous stuff.